Funny enough, when it comes down to promises, most people don't break promises to other people. They actually break promises to themselves more often than not. Really quite tragic. So, how do we get out of this? Because clearly, you are your vehicle back to God, your Father in heaven. How are you going to drive it? How are you going to steer it? Because you are the captain of your own ship. You are the captain of your own destiny. So when you think about that, why don't you take it seriously? Self-trust is built through small follow-through. Self-trust is built through small follow-through. Think about that real quick. Even the smallest of examples, if you can just manage to follow through. For example, sometimes the night before, I know I want to wake up early so that I can accomplish my goals and get on with my day. Even have time for myself to just do something fun, like I don't know, like watch a show or scroll on YouTube. Just do something mind wasting, right? Something like that, or even like just to go on a walk. I got to be careful about saying that WALK too loud because my dog is in the other room and he will go crazy. Didn't even think about that. Like I realize that there's gonna be some commitments I have to make. And usually the number one thing is that I have to wake up early. If I don't wake up early, I know I can't accomplish these other things. So that's to me a small example of follow through. When I wake up and I just simply decide the second my alarm goes off to not hit snooze, to get up and get going. Although recently that's been hard for some reason. I don't know. I think it's the winter. I'm working on it though, guys. But what I'm trying to say is that one daily action, this is what I wrote in my journal, one daily action reinforces identity. But the way you see yourself, your own self perception, is formed based off of the commitments you can keep for yourself, the promises that you follow through with for yourself. A lot of the times, I find that there's this epidemic of never feeling like you are enough. And yeah, in some case, and actually 99% of the time, that is the case, right? But we fail to recognize that you are enough right now. Not that there isn't more you can be doing, but that you are enough right now. That God has done everything in your life to lead you to this point so that you can do what you need. Again, like I said, it's not that you couldn't do more, because you definitely can. Our capabilities are just huge, but we don't follow through. I can honestly say that God sees more in you when you see the least in you. When I was just 18 years old, I left home to go serve an LDS mission. It's a pretty intense process. Like you have to submit papers for months. It's a lot of work to get out there. It's a lot of money so that you can support yourself, because you don't make any money for 2 years straight. And you put all this money in and you submit it, and so that they can allocate the funds and make sure that it all goes the way it needs to so that you can survive out there wherever you're going. And then you get called to a place that is preyed upon. So for example, you got a couple of these guys in an office. They see your papers, they look at your picture, they pray about it, they seriously consider it. They've done the preparation beforehand, just spiritually, and then they come to a consensus with God of where this person needs to go. So I was called to Spokane, Washington, which I found to be very interesting because the people there, the people I needed to teach or the people I needed to minister to, had been through a lot of the things that I had been overcoming. I think it's really powerful how God uses you. But not only that, within those first couple of weeks, I was sent to a college town, and it was WSU. It's the second biggest party school in the nation. And it was just the craziest experience, the craziest people. But for some reason, I couldn't get past the idea that I just was not enough. I never felt like I was enough. I felt like I was failing every single day, even though I had a plan, I had a purpose. I knew what I had to be doing. I just didn't feel like I was worth it to anybody there. For the first time, I had graduated high school, but I was, for the first time ever, away from family. And it's not like I could just easily go back home. And we had rules and we were so busy, so we didn't really call home, like, except for one day of the week. And then, of course, COVID hits and things start to shift, and we're locked in our apartments just day after day, and I'm just left to ponder on myself and self-reflect. And I do believe that because I was a missionary, Satan was maybe attacking me more. But I was struggling to make friends, which I'd never struggled with before. I felt like an absolute and utter outcast. I couldn't connect with anybody. I just felt lesser. But there, while I was in my training, you have about 6 weeks of training, About well, it's actually 12 weeks of training. The latter 6 weeks of training, I got a call right at the beginning of it. And that call was considered from the Lord and prayed upon by the leadership of that mission, calling me into leadership, which they had not seen in years. So I was called into leadership while I was in training. And to think, even though I didn't think I was capable, I knew that God knew who I was and where I could and what I could accomplish and what I could do. And that was enough for me. And I can echo that amongst you guys. I can say honestly, it's no different for you guys. God sees more in you than you can see in you. Because you have so many competitive thoughts, like when you're scrolling on Instagram and when you're talking to your friends and when you see all these social media Hollywood stars or whatever, right? All you can do is compare. But I can tell you guys, just look in the mirror and compare yourself to you, because that is self-authenticity. And when you get to know who you are, when you understand the power that you have, when you understand the value that God has placed in you and upon you, then you reinforce your identity, and every daily action that you need to make will be accomplished when you recognize who you are and what your purpose is. It has been said that from a scholar of sorts, right, and a leader, a spiritual leader, he said, his name is D. Todd Christofferson, in a devotional to a bunch of college students. He said, and I can't quote it word for word, but he was talking about, and my dad shared this with me. He said, in the past, people got jobs. Then one day, people started getting careers. Jobs became careers. In this modern day and age, careers have become destiny. It has become purpose. And that's what people are chasing nowadays, is purpose. That's what they feel they have. It is no longer about working a 9 to 5. It is about doing something for your destiny, for your character. When you can stay consistent with yourself and just following through with your goals and the commitments that you set daily, it restores confidence faster than achievement. Remember, it is just the thought alone, the ideation of hitting that goal, that produces more dopamine than actually hitting it. Appreciate this time. Love it. Romanticize the process. You are on your way. My name is Gabriel Bowman. I hope I didn't go too off track, but I just felt a need to share what I did, and I hope that helped you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment if you guys have any questions, and of course subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm going to be coming out with 3 videos a week, believe it or not, for a couple months. So don't miss any of it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.